Good morning, friends. Welcome to the 14th edition of Book Fun Friday. The young adult novel that I'm going to talk about today is titled Children of Blood and Bone, and it's written by Tomi Adeyemi. Let me tell you a little bit about this book. I'm so excited to talk about this today. So this book is a fantasy novel. Sort of. I say sort of because even though it has fantastical elements, which I'll discuss here in just a minute, it runs so parallel to history, modern history and past history, American history, world history, that there are points in the story as you're reading along that you think, wait, am I actually reading a novel or a history textbook, or am I reading a newspaper article from yesterday, or am I seeing a video that happened last week? It's so true to life, despite the fact that it's a fantasy novel. Those fantastical elements just kind of fall away, and it feels very real in spite of that. The main character of this novel is a young girl named Zelie. And Zelie lives in a futuristic world wherein there are people like herself who possess magical powers. These people are called magi. Well, the king of their realm has decided that he can't have magical people in his kingdom. And so he has made it his personal goal to eradicate all magic, meaning all magical people, from his kingdom. And he does this in direct ways by literally killing them or imprisoning them. And he does it in subtle ways by overtaxing them and forcing them to pay these unbelievably, ridiculously high fees for whatever things that he happens to contrive. Well, I mentioned that Zelie, the protagonist of this novel, is a magical person. And very early in the novel, when she comes home from school, she finds that her father has been attacked by the king's men and has been given this ultimatum to pay this ridiculously high tax, or they will come back and they will imprison her. They will imprison his daughter because she's a magi. Well, Zelie, of course, feels horribly guilty about this. She, comes home and she finds her father, and he's been hurt, and now there's this money that he doesn't have, and he can't afford to pay. So she makes it her mission right then that she's going to go to town and she's going to figure out a way to get a bag of money to pay this tax, and she does that. They're fishermen. Her dad and her brother fish, and they've caught this very rare fish that day. So she takes this rare fish to town, and she sells it, and she makes that bag of money, and she's heading back home thinking, okay, I can fix this at least for now and temporarily stave off the king and his men. Except, as she's heading out of town to head back home, she's approached by this young girl who is clearly in trouble and is clearly running away from the king's soldiers. And this girl begs her for help. Please, she says, please save me. So what can Zelie do? She saves the girl. They rush away. They make it to safety out of town. Except it turns out this isn't just a girl. This is the king's daughter. This is the princess. And in a further twist, it turns out that she's not just a princess. She actually is defying her father and wants to help save and keep magic in their kingdom. And then the story goes from there. So I'm going to share a short passage here. This is, again, early in the story. This is when Zelie comes home and she finds out that her father's been attacked. I need to clarify a couple of names here. She calls her father Baba, B-A-B-A, and she has a brother. Her brother's name is Zane, T-Z-A-I-N. You'll hear both of those names in this passage. She also makes a reference to her mother. Her mother was actually killed by the king. Now, I'm not giving anything away. That's very early in the novel, so it's not like I just spoiled anything for you. You find that out really, really soon. But certainly the death of her mother plays into all of this as well. So again, this is a passage from Children of Blood and Bone. My blood runs cold. I whip around, unable to hide my fear. Run by the king's army, the stocks act as our kingdom's labor force, spreading throughout all of Orisha. That's their land. Whenever someone can't afford the taxes, he's required to work off the debt for our king. Those stuck in the stocks toil endlessly, erecting palaces, building roads, mining coal, and everything in between. It's a system that's served Orisha well once, but since the raid, it's no more than a state-sanctioned death sentence, an excuse to round up my people, as if the monarchy needed an excuse. With all the magi left orphaned from the raid, we are the ones who can't afford the monarchy's high taxes. We are the true targets of every tax raise. I fight to keep my terror inside. If I'm forced into the stocks, I'll never get out. No one who enters escapes. The labor is only supposed to last until the original debt is paid off, but when the taxes keep rising, so does the debt. Starved, beaten, and worse, the diviners are transported like cattle, forced to work until our bodies break. I push my hands into chilled seawater to calm my nerves. I can't let Baba Insane know how frightened I truly am. It'll only make it worse for all of us. But as my fingers start to shake, I don't know if it's from the cold or my terror. How is this happening? When did things get this bad? Though the memory is 11 years old, it's clearer to me now than my own vision. That was the night things got so bad. The night King Saren hung my people for the world to see, declaring war against the Magi of today and tomorrow. It was the night magic died, the night we lost everything. Baba shudders, and I run to his side, placing a hand on his back to keep him upright. His eyes hold no anger, only defeat. As he clings to a worn blanket, I wish I could see the warrior I knew when I was a child. Before the raid, he could fight off 3 armed men with nothing but a skimming knife in his hand. But after the beating he got that night, it took him 5 moons to even talk. They broke him that night, battered his heart, and shattered his soul. Maybe he would have recovered if he hadn't woken to find Mama's corpse, bound in black chains. But he did find her, and he's never been the same since. And again, this novel is titled Children of Blood and Bone, and it's written by Tomi Adeyemi. So thanks as always for watching. You'll notice that in the typed comments that accompany this particular video today, I am publishing now to YouTube. I've included the YouTube link there in the comments, so if you ever want to go back or if you ever want to check that out, see all the book talks that I've done to this date, you can certainly do so if you wish. In the meantime, I hope you stay well, and I hope your loved ones stay well. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again later. Bye.